Yeah, hi everyone. So I wanted to share this game, uh, and I'll give you the context first about this game. I had not played rapid chess in quite some time, and uh, I uh, I didn't want to play to be honest because it was Friday night. I was not feeling it. I wanted to watch some movie, but I played it anyway. So I was just playing it really quickly. So by the move times also, uh, I am I'm black. So I was just taking 5 7 seconds, not much in a rapid game. See, maximum I thought for 44 seconds, and in the end, I was left with quite some time. And actually, he was also playing pretty fast, and only at some key crucial moments he thought. So I'll just, I mean, the opening was pretty lame, not that exciting. I'll still brief it. So, what was the problem? He developed his bishop quite early. So, whenever white or black does this kind of thing, when the dark square bishop is out, you can clearly see the weakness here, which is the b2 pawn. So it is pretty, I mean, standard to play c5 and then queen b6, attacking this pawn as well, and you can even put pressure on this pawn. So he defended quite passively. He didn't want to create any weakness by playing b3. b3 will allow these two squares to be really weak. b3, I mean, doesn't make sense. So he played queen c1, which was all right. Although the engine says knight a3 was the correct move. Let's see why. If I take, take is I think out of the question because it, yeah, here it is just winning for white. So, but still it is a compromise because uh, white is developing away from the center. This knight is quite passive, so engine says it is 0.0 and white has some advantage, so it is, I mean, the opening is all right. Let's go to the crucial moments. And yeah, as I've said already, I mean, I was playing a little fast, which I shouldn't in a rapid game. Otherwise, this move would have struck me. I mean, this bishop is quite strong, and I could have captured it with my knight, but I played bishop e7, and he played h3, so that if I go here, he will just move back. Basically, a left square for the bishop. So I didn't want to release this tension in the position, so I just played d5 because I mean, this knight would have jumped to knight, I mean, this d2 square, and I'm just blocking this knight so that it can't jump. So d5 makes sense, and bishop here is also fine, and he played queen c2 because queen c1 was really passive, and moreover you want to connect these rooks as well. So queen c2 makes sense, but first I would have developed this knight before moving the queen again. So this is fine, and I just align my rook against the queen. And what is the aim here? For example, if he plays a nothing move, I can take, he can take back, I can take, he can take, I can take, and yeah, this is possible, but the main theme is this. So I'll be just up in material because this queen would be hanging. So it is always a good idea to align your rook or basically any piece against the queen, because some possibilities uh, do arise. So he moved it again, and so I played this only. And why didn't I capture? So look at this rook here. This rook is yet to develop, and it is quite passive here. Passive in the sense it is just doing nothing, just standing on the initial square. So if I take, there is some pressure here. For example, if he uh, moves his knight to e5, and if I take this, there is some pressure here, and moreover this rook is also active now, which was not the case earlier. So I didn't want to take, and I wanted him to take because I'll just capture towards the center, and yeah, basically my file would be open, not his. So I played this just developing in the center, and knight takes because his knight will move backward, and this knight is doing nothing. So I thought taking is a good option, and here I played this, and just to provoke that he captures first. So that is fine. And here I think I made my first mistake. I mean, inaccuracy or mistake, whatever. Yeah. So I was just moving so fast that I did not realize that basically the idea is this only. You don't want to allow a4, because then your b6 pawn is just passive, and it is the structure is also fixed. So you don't want to allow this move, but uh, I mean the move order is a bit different. You can't just move directly here, because I think what he played was even fine. Oh, I could have taken. Yeah, that is some. Yeah, that is really tricky, and I didn't see. Yeah, yeah, makes sense. But I thought he can take, and I couldn't take back because there is b5. But I didn't see there was a resource even then. But but the simple thing is, if you take it, he will take back, then b5, and now there are no complications, and now you can jump your knight to this juicy square. And the problem is, when I jump my knight, you he can't just play b3. B3 will make this square loose, so I can just pile up on this weak pawn, and I'll just eventually win it. So this is fine. Yeah, so this was my mistake, and so that is why I didn't capture. I thought it was not possible. I didn't calculate e5, so I just moved directly. And here here I was really surprised by this move. His rating is around 2373, and yeah, he played this move quite fast, and I took it. So initially I thought I can just take it. He can take back, take. Then I realized, I mean, I calculated this line, and uh, in the end I was just exchanged down. Yeah, exchanged down. So I rejected this, and first thought, I mean, that comes to mind when you calculate this line, that you can't take this pawn because in the end you will be exchanged down. You want to, I mean, keep this bishop away. You want to keep this bishop away. So f6 is like just to push this bishop, that just go away. I just want to take this pawn, have a normal day. So I played f6 with the idea to block this bishop so that I can take this pawn with peace. And he played this, and I continued with my plan of pushing this bishop away. And I thought he will just, hang on to this pawn. And this pawn is not a big deal, as Indian suggests that I am clearly better, because even if he clings on to this pawn, I will just take, and I will just attack this weak pawn. And as you can see, this pawn is weak, this pawn is weak, this pawn is weak, this pawn is weak. So for one loss of pawn, his structure is totally wrecked. So that is fine. I have sufficient compensation. Yeah, and now no, this didn't happen, and he moved bishop g3, which didn't make any sense, because if you are moving backwards only, then at least you can protect this pawn. So I just take, and I finally took this pawn, take, and he defended this weak pawn by playing rook f3. I increased the pressure, and he attacked this pawn. And I think here we were just moving really, really quickly. I didn't want to calculate. It was Friday night, and I was just moving without even calculating, based on my gut feeling. So here I just took this pawn. I thought this is winning as well. I took, oops, wait, not, yeah, I thought this is winning as well. I took, And here there is a very interesting line. That is, if I give check, for example, he comes here, which I calculated a little bit because I thought this is just there is no continuation after bishop here, but there is. And when you give a check here, you basically deflect the king, and you want to capture this bishop back. And the problem here is this pawn is hanging as well as this pawn is hanging, so you got to defend one, and when he defends it, I'm just two pawns up, which is clearly better. I mean, this is absolutely winning. Two pawns is sufficient, but I just was greedy and I just took this pawn without any counterplay, which is really silly thing to do. I think I could have at least activated my king. And now if I think about it, I think it is so much better to just have an active rook here and then take this pawn. Yeah, that was really really silly. Instead, I mean, I played this, and yeah, I just kept my rook behind this so that it does not run away. And here is the starting point where I made a bunch of mistakes. So I mean, I should have played bishop here so that this pawn is stopped altogether. And I don't know why I played this. I wanted to give a left square to my king, but this pawn is really fast and I didn't realize it. And I played this. Yeah, so giving a square to the king and this, and now I attacked, but it was too late. So I one thing I didn't realize was his. I thought when his pawn reaches here, he can't just give check, take, and queen because I'm defending it. I thought, but I thought the usual end game where you give a check and you promote. But I forgot that he can just move here, and this pawn is just defended. I just absolutely forgot this, and I wanted to resign because I'll just lose my rook for a pawn, and I lost my rook, and I. But in the meanwhile, I took all the pawns of white. So still, I think it was losing for me. I don't know why Engine is saying +1. Uh, +1 is too less. I think when you're playing with black in this position, I think it is very easy for white to form up a good plan against this. I mean, if for example, uh, if there is a fight and you want to attack, I mean, there is a chain. You'll obviously attack. Uh, I mean, on the base of the chain, which is this pawn. So this is really easy plan that you have to just maneuver your bishop towards these squares and attack from the back, not from the front, because this is the base of the pawn chain. And if you attack like this, there is no way to defend. I think at the time when I was playing, I just realized that this is really strong and I have no plan against it, because I don't know how what to do, because here there would be a pin. So if you just moves this bishop here, then it's just gone. Wait, yeah. So I don't know why he was attacking from the front, which was clearly a mistake. Then I wanted to be active, and I moved my pawn here, and I have only one counterplay that my pawns could be pushed forward really fast, and he does not have pawns. So I just tried. I gave up one pawn, which was fine. But in this process, my king is really active now. His bishop is a bit off, and my pawns are really strong. So even at this point, I was quite optimistic that I can pull something off. So he played bishop h6, which was I don't know what was the plan for white. Clearly, I just pushed my pawn and see if there is any defense. And here my threat was just to push this, and if king moves here, this is actually checkmate. So, uh, for example, if he does not defend this square, And for example, if he moves like this, and this is just checkmate. So you've got to move your rook to defend this square, and he did. And I just uh, kept on pushing my pawns. Yeah, even I didn't know this was a draw. I thought this is a win. But this will come later in the game. So I pushed, I pushed. Now he thought that shit, I think I'm gonna lose. Let's bail out and get a draw. But at this time, it was too late. My pawns are already quite advanced. So I took this bishop, and even now, this was a mistake, and I did not realize this. That moving a bishop to here is the only winning move, because this just traps the king a little bit. And after rook e2 and king f3, there is a beautiful move which is rook f2, and when I take, this is stalemate, and when I take with the pawn, this is stalemate as well. So that is a beautiful idea. And but one thing, for example, if I do here and this, and if I attack from the side so that there is no check, and what about this? Oh, then you go laterally. Okay, yeah, okay, you attack like this. Yeah, makes sense. So I mean, after this, he took this bishop and hoping for a drop, but uh, now I can get opposition in this position. Opposition is basically when your king is, when I place my king here in front of the king, and I mean the number of squares between the king should be odd. So I could get opposition from here because there is one, two, three. I can get it from here as well. So I just gained the opposition. He moved back, and basically I'm just moving my king in front of him and asking him uh, to move to either direction. When he moves, I can just push, and this was just winning. So pretty crazy game. I would have resigned at some point, but I thought let's give it a shot, and I won, and I have reached my highest rating in Rapid, which is 2249, against a pretty good opponent whose FIDE rating is in fact 2031, and he's a Russian, of course. So yeah, pretty good game. Really enjoyed. Made my Friday night. Thanks.